Hey, what's up? I'm Danny Bowien with Mission Chinese Food. I'm in New York City, and so I'm going to teach you how to cook a few things. First, I'm going to show you how to quickly pickle fruit. I've got about 2 cups of fresh cherries, and then we're just going to pickle that in a really quick brine. It's very, very simple. It's almost equal parts rice vinegar and sugar. I'm going to put it on the stove. We're going to turn the heat on high. And something that's really important when you're doing this is that you give it a quick initial stir to make sure none of the sugar sticks to the bottom of the pan. And you're gonna wanna bring this up to a very quick boil and then turn it off. I've got about 2.5 cups of rice here. I'm using like a Japanese short grain rice. I've rinsed it 3 times until the water ran clear. And by rinsing it 3 times, I mean I just poured cold water on it, stirred it out with my hand, dumped it out. I'm gonna show you how to measure rice and how I like to do it at home. I like to go with a knuckle trick, which means you're going to cover it with enough cold water to where it comes up to your first knuckle. Also, for 2 cups of rice, typically we'll take about 2¼ cups of water if you really want to measure it out technically. But like, I like to use a little bit more. I like to add enough water until when you put it in there, it kind of comes up to your first knuckle, right? We're going to now bring this to a really quick boil, and then we'll add all of the other ingredients, the cherry tomatoes, the pickled cherries, and the salt. If you look, the pickled cherries have now kind of all become the same color. The cherry vinegar should be very sweet and also barely sour. As far as the cherry tomatoes go, I've got about 1 cup here, and then I like to have some flaky sea salt. Okay, so the water has just come to a boil on the rice, right? And so you can see there's bubbles around the outside of the rice, and then right in the middle, you see little bubbles coming right there, right? So now I'm gonna start to add some cherry tomatoes. I like to put them cut side up. It doesn't really matter. It's just like how I like to put them in there. You can put them in there however you like. Just make sure there's enough room for the water to kind of come up through the rice and steam. A little bit of salt on top of the cherry tomatoes. A few of these cherries on here too. I like to serve these with the rice too, so you know, just sprinkle them in there. And then we're gonna put a lid on this and reduce the heat to very low. I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna make Sarah's favorite hot and sour collard greens. Got 1 bunch of collard greens, like rinsed and roughly chopped. Remove the stems. Got about 1 cup of sliced red onion. Got about 1 tablespoon of hondashi. If you don't have this, you can use chicken bouillon powder. You can use vegetable stock powder, MSG, soy sauce, whatever you want. Just something that's gonna give it a lot more umami and depth. And then about 5 cups of water. We got some olive oil, 4 limes, a piece of garlic, and 3 chilies. A piece of garlic, just smash it. Like that. These are Thai chilies, so these are actually really spicy. You can use jalapenos. If you don't have fresh chilies, you can use chili, dried chili powder. We're gonna need about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It's a good amount, but it really helps carry a lot of the flavor in this dish. And then I'm gonna take 1 of my limes and a peeler. You don't have to do this. If you have a zester at home, that certainly is a lot easier. I'm gonna peel the zest off of 1 lime. So I'm gonna let this kind of come up. And you'll know when it's ready because it'll start to tell you. It'll start to sizzle, it'll start to get very aromatic. And so this is where you wanna be careful. So you can kind of just tilt the pan away from yourself. When you start to hear it toasting, it'll start to become very fragrant. You're just gonna quickly fry this, right? And then, while it's still tilting away from yourself, add your greens. So I'll reduce the heat to low now. And then start to you wanna kind of dress the greens in the oil. I'll add the dashi powder and the water. All right, so the last step to finish the collard greens, I'm gonna take some limes. Make sure you use the one that you peeled. And you just kind of smash them and roll them. That's gonna kind of break all the cells of the lime, really help you get all the juice out of the lime. I roll them, I cut them in half, and I'm just gonna go quickly into the same bowl I'm gonna serve this in. We're not looking to cook the lime juice too much. We're just looking to add that acidity at the very last second. So I like to use a fork. If you have a juicer at home or a hand juicer, quite certainly use that. A good indicator for when your soup is almost done is when this garlic gets pretty soft like that. So it should get kind of white, soft. The onions. And just stir those through, but we don't want these to cook too much. We want these to be really kind of like bright and crunchy and almost raw, but just warm through, right? And that timer's for my rice. So it kind of worked out perfectly. Got the collard greens, some broth, and then I've got some more of these cherries on the side, which I really like to serve with the rice as an accompaniment. The broth should be like nice and like, you know, very depth, like earthy, and there should be a lot of depth. And then like on the back end, a lot of like acidity and sourness, so it's like super, super good. That pith comes out really quickly, really easily. So good. I'm Danny Bowien, Mission Chinese Food. Thank you very much. Live, laugh, love. BTS, do you think you can finish this whole thing?
Mine, don't touch it.